Hi everyone, welcome to another Google G Suite video with Z, and today we're looking at Google Sites. Now, for those who don't know what Google Sites is, basically a website development tool that's really easy to use. You don't really need any programming, it's just a case of dragging and dropping. And today's video we're just going to tell you some of the features that you can get with Google Sites. We're actually going to create one from start to finish, and I'll try to cover as much of the features that are available. Before we get started into the Google Sites, there's one thing that I need to mention. Before you create any site, Google site, intranet, website, one of the most important things that I do is basically I get my file structure right in Google Drive. So basically I break down everything that I need in my site, just purely so I can find out and navigate things easier. I keep all banners, docs, file, pictures, everything in one location. What you could actually do is you could probably create a folder for each page on your website, and anything linked to that page literally is housed in that folder. I do also keep everything on Google Drive rather than having it locally on the machine that I'm using, purely because if I need to find anything, there's only one location I need to go and look into. So let's get cracking on with it. So the first thing you need to do is basically start your site off. Now, the new Google Sites is a new revamped version of the application. There used to be an older version called Google Sites Classic that's slowly going to be discontinued, so we're using the new one. So on the left hand side, if you click on create new sites, and as soon as this loads up, it's basically the shell of everything that's going to happen. So you start off by creating your first page. The first thing I usually do is add my banner to my site, is probably the first thing I do. So if I click on that and change image, how to upload. This time it's upload from my local machine, so I don't want to do it from there. So if I come back out of that, I go to image, I go select image, it then takes me to my Google Drive, Google Sites. If I go to banners, there you go. And that's just simple as that. You can use predefined images from Google libraries and whatnot, but this is my image that I already saved in my area. Next thing we're going to do is just give this site a name, so I'll do everything Google. Now on the right hand side here is probably the main navigation area of the whole site. The insert option gives you all the layouts and buttons, dividers, YouTube videos, map, docs, and anything you can add. We'll go through as much of that as we can in the coming parts of this video. The next part is pages, so every time you want to add a page or change a page or move a page around, this is where it's done. And then you can give your site a predefined theme that kind of stays throughout the whole aspects of the site, no matter how many pages you have. So I tend to go for something quite simple or quite striking, so I go to impression. So what I've done here, obviously you can see the background with the banner and whatnot. So if I click on this title here, and if I click on this delete symbol here, it gets rid of that little title page there. It just keeps the banner in the background. So let's start adding some content to the page. So if I go to this navigation part and go to insert, which is already on, what you'll see is basically 4 main areas of ways you can add stuff to your page. So let's start off with a text box. There we go. And this text box here, you can obviously get the basic functions of how you want the text to appear. So if I give it a bit of a title, okay, that's got a title, and on the left hand side here you can give it a title, heading or subheading. Let's give it a bit of a title so it makes it stand out a bit more. That's great. You can justify it to be middle or right or left, so I like that one in the middle. And if you're not happy with anything, again, anything you click on in Google Sites, you'll always get this little trash can icon that just deletes it. What you're seeing here as I'm hovering over this, you'll see 3 smaller options here. So the first one gives the box that you're working on a bit of a background colour. You can duplicate it, but you can again delete the whole layer of what you're working on. So let's click on and see what we get. Okay, you can even have an image there if you wanted to. There you go. So you can have a little mess around with that, see what you like and what you don't like. Right, the next thing we're going to do is add a couple of images. So on the right hand side again, in the insert pane, if you click on images, we're going to do select. Again, if you did upload, you can do that locally from your machine. I already have some pictures saved for this demo, so if I go to Google Drive, pictures, And there you go. So basically as this gets inserted, you'll see a couple of more small options here. Now this is basically some straightforward options, so crop, uncrop, link and delete it. The link option is quite useful because if you've got a picture here and you want people to click on it and go to another part of your website, you can put that in there. You can also put in URLs, so if you've got a picture going to a website or a YouTube video, stick it in there and that will become a clickable picture. These three dots, if you click on that, give you some alternative information. So I quite like this alt text option, and basically what that does, it allows you to put a bit of description on parts of your website for people who have visionary problems. So it's just quite nice knowing that that facility is available for you there. So once your picture's in there as well, you can adjust it to however you want to see it and however big you want it. So just remember, as you adjust it, sometimes the picture starts to crop. So as you can see there, I'm changing the size of the picture and the image does kind of go smaller. So if I click on that, it kind of puts it back into ratio. So let's add another picture. So I go to images, I go to select, go to Google Drive, pictures, cool. So what I'll do, if I adjust this, that takes it there, a bit more smaller. Here we go, let's add another one. So I'm just dragging this over. As you can see, if you start doing something that's quite common, it automatically adjusts the picture based on what you've done previously, as you can see from there. So you've got your picture in there now. What you can also do is add quick captions. So if I click on the picture, go to the three dots, you see it creates a little box there. So balloons, and then I want that center justified. Let's see, kind of lost. That's a bit too big. I'll keep it to a subheading. There you go. Let's add one here. Another feature that I really like about Google Sites is this little embed feature here. If you click on embed, what happens here, you can put in code to social media feeds, things like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Now, every social media site seems to have embedded code that you can just literally copy and paste. So from a particular post, or if you're following a particular Twitter person or account, you can grab that code and paste it in here. I do have other YouTube videos covering how to get hold of embedded code for Twitter and Instagram. Do check those out, but I've already got some code already available, so I'll just quickly use that. So if I go back over to my Google Drive and I go to social media, select this, Control C, go back over to Google. There's no embedded box. So what you need to do, you need to click on the embedded code. So if I click on embedded code, copy that script into there. And there you have. So this is my Twitter feed page. So basically, you now have a live Twitter feed straight to your Google site. You can have as many Twitter feeds as you want, and adjust it however you want. So I like having it a bit longer so you can get more on the page. But you can have it as big as you want, how small as you want, and you can have multiple feeds as you want. But now that we have Twitter added in there, let's try to add a Instagram feed. So same again, if you go on the right hand side here, click on embed, run the embedded code. So I already have the Instagram code. Don't panic when you see all this code. Basically this has just been copied from a link. When you copy the code, embedding code from Instagram, it just copies it to your clipboard. Again, I do have a separate YouTube video for that. Do have a look at that. Let's click on, let's get that code, go back over to the site, so click on an embedded code, insert, and there we have. So that's our Instagram feed. So let's see that bit a little bigger. Again, you can adjust this as much as you want. And there you have embedding social media into your website. It's quite a unique feature because I don't think you need any coding or whatnot. You can just copy and paste stuff into there. But it doesn't have to have code to embed stuff into your page. So if I go back into Embed, you can embed stuff by the URL. So if you've got YouTube's or Google Doc or whatnot, you can embed that here. So let's try and embed a YouTube video. So if I go over to YouTube, this is one of my videos. So if I click on share, let's grab the code, I'll just click on copy, go back over to Google Sites, click on embed, right click paste, click on insert, and now as you can see that video is embedded on my site. So let's just make this slightly bit bigger. Cool. And what can happen now is basically you can play these videos directly from your browser. But to show this video does actually work, what I'm going to do now is go to the preview of the site. So on the top bar here you'll see this little icon here, and what this basically does is takes your website to how it would look if it was fully live. So if I click on that icon there, what you'll see is the website started to load up. You can see all the Twitter feeds there, you can scroll through them, Instagram feeds. So if I click on my little YouTube video here, it plays directly in the Google Sites, which is great, so you don't have to come away from the website itself, you can just play it within there. What I also do like in the preview mode, it also gives you these little options here. So if you click on the right hand side, it shows you how the screen would look on a large screen or a PC or laptop, how it would look on a tablet, and how it would look on a phone. So if I click on tablet, it kind of optimizes your site to show you how it will look on each of those devices, which I think is a great idea. Let's come back out of this and go back to the edit mode. So now we have our YouTube video, but say for example you want to embed a Google Doc sheet or slide. Again, it's very similar. All you need to do is go to the file in question. So if I go to my Google Drive, I've got a Google Doc already available here. I click on that file and I click on this little symbol here, it says get shareable link. So it's a link copy to clipboard. If I go back over to my website, what we'll do is over here, go to embed, got the URL, we'll do Control V or right click paste. So now if I click on insert, that Google document now is embedded into my site. You can have it as big as long as you want. Some people like to have the full page length, but I'll do about half a page, but that's just scrollable. So if I go back over to preview mode, so once in preview mode, what I'll do is just scroll down here. As you can see, the Twitter feed is scrollable, the YouTube video is there. As you can see, this is a Google document, and again, this is scrollable. This is just a template that I pulled from Google Docs, so it's nothing particular. But as you can see, you can slide through the whole document. It could be 2 pages, 3 pages, it could be 50 pages, it could be 100 pages. So again, that's quite a unique feature, and that applies to Google Docs, Sheets and Slides, and even Google Forms, but we'll go over that in a couple of seconds. So if I come back out here again, so what I want to show you now is how to add a page to your website. So again, on the right hand side, if you go over to the navigation pane and go click on pages, you'll see the home page and these 3 little dots on the right hand side, and we want to add a sub page. So let's give this sub page a name. Let's call it file docs. Click on done. So what happens as soon as you name a page or create a page, whatever page name you give it, it becomes its title. So what I also really like about Google Sites is this little layout feature page that it has. So if you've got a page and you want some predefined layouts of how the page wants to look or see, you can just use a couple of these here. So let's just try one. So on the right hand side, insert, click on that. Now as you can see, it gives you kind of a predefined layout or putting in pictures, videos, whatnot. So if I click on one of these plus symbols, it gives you various options of what you can add to this little pane. So you can upload an image, a file from Drive, YouTube, calendar, a map. Give it a try, see what you come up with. So if I select an image, let's see what else I've got on Google Drive. Sites, pictures. What you can do, you can give it a name. Painting. Let's see what happens if I try to add a map to it. Okay, let's try to give it a location. So I'm based in Manchester, UK. And there you have, so you've actually got an interactive map in there. So if I go to the third one now, click on plus, calendar. Look at my calendar there. Let's put that in. So I mean, this calendar feature is quite good because you can create multiple calendars for your own Google Drive, and if you've got any shared calendars, say if you're in a business or an educational institute, you can create a shared calendar and have that embedded on your staff intranet or your school website or business website, which is quite a good feature. And obviously the calendar is live, so whoever has editable rights to the calendar, any changes they make will be reflected on here, which is quite unique and quite good. Some of the additional boxes at the bottom here, we don't need these. So let's go over to the pages and let's create another one under there. I'm actually going to call this calendars because I want to show you what the calendar actually looks like when it's in the bigger screen. So if I go back over to insert, if I click on calendar here, I go to insert, you can make this as big and as small as you want it. So this is a bit bigger. And you can again have the same navigation as you do your normal Google Calendar. If I go to preview mode just to make it active, you can have it showing by month, week or agenda, and this is actually a live calendar. So if I actually make changes in my calendar as in the calendar app, it will also reflect here. So like I was saying earlier, if you've got shared calendars for a department or for a whole school or for a whole business, it's a great little feature to have that, just to be able to have a live calendar people can view, edit and make changes to if you want them to. Let's go back into edit mode. Let's go back up to pages, let's create something else. Add a sub page, let's call this Google Forms. I go to insert, and there's some more features down here that are quite useful, but again we've covered them in earlier parts by adding it by URL or code. But if you don't want to do it that way, there's some quick ways of just adding doc sheets and slides. So if I click on forms, I love forms for staff interest because it just literally embeds the whole thing into the actual site. So this is something I created earlier. So when you click on forms, it lists all the forms in your Google Drive or anything you created recently. So I've created this a couple of days ago. So let's just click on that. Come up there. And that's literally embedded that form now into my website. And this is great, for example, if you're a business or a school, if you're a business, you can add this to get feedback from customers or to capture some information about a particular order or whatnot. If you're a school, they're great for quizzes, they're great for attendances, marking attendance of students and whatnot. But it's a great feature to have on Google Sites, to be able to embed things like Google Slides, Sheets and Docs. Another feature that I find quite useful is this charts option at the bottom here. So you're probably wondering what you could use charts for. I use charts as more as a form of a dashboard. So if you've got various Google Sheet documents and each document has its own little chart, you can compile all these charts into one little dashboard. So I'm just going to show you something very similar. So if I go back up to pages, and if I click on here, go to add sub page, so we're going to dashboard. And if I go to insert, charts. So I click on that one there, let's see if that's got a chart in So what you can see there, this is picked up the charts that are already in that Excel document, so you don't have to go in and copy and paste. So it's noted what charts are already in that file. So if I click on that one and click on add, and there you go. So let's try another one. Try that one too, and there you have it. This is an absolutely great feature, especially for management and senior leadership. So if you've got multiple Excel sheets and you've got charts as part of those sheets, you can add just those charts to a simple page on your staff intranet that you can just use as a visual reference. We do use it here quite a lot, especially for our ticketing, for our IT calls, but definitely worth having a look at that. Another key feature is the button feature here, so you can basically place buttons all around your site to navigate to YouTube videos, to different parts of your website. So let's just go on and create one here. So let's click on that and say calendar, and I put in a link. So you just click on that. You can put in a URL there, or it actually gives you the list of pages you've got. So if I click on calendar, click on insert, I now have a button there. So if I drag this at the top, see, I usually like my buttons at the top of my page, so you can see a button there. If I click on preview, I click on calendar, it takes me to the calendar page. So if I come back out of this and into the edit mode, so there's a lot of stuff that's been covered there. So before your site goes live, what you need to do is you need to publish your site. So you see this publish button. If you click on that, so you can give your website an address. So if I call it demo site, and the option here is if you're part of the G Suite domain, you can add it so that it can only be viewable to your domain of your business or your education institute. I like this feature because if you've got intranets and whatnot, what you don't want is everyone in the World Wide Web trying to access it. So we customize a lot of our sites basically just so it can be used and accessed internally within our school. So I click on publish. So now it's been published, and what you can see now is this link now becomes live. So if you click on that, and it gives you your link to your website. So if this was an intranet, this would be basically a link that sits somewhere as part of a bookmark or something, where your Chrome or your devices will launch the page up directly to be a dashboard. But again, if you want to give this out to people, you can do, and it works simply as just as a URL. So like with a lot of Google stuff, you can add collaborators to the site. So if you want people to be able to add and change parts of the site, again, like every other document, you can add people into it. So you can add people individually, you can add groups in there, and you can give them different various access rights to what you want them to do. What you can also do is, when you notice it, when I was going to preview mode, let's just go into it again. You can see you don't see a navigation bar here, which kind of puts some people off straight away. The actual navigation bar is at the top here. So if you click on home, you see all your pages there. I prefer my navigation on the left hand side, so if I quickly show you how you can change that over. So if I come out of this, at the top bar here, you'll see this little cog icon. So if you click on that, that gives you the option to top navigate or side navigate. So if I go to side, I go to preview, what you'll see now is your navigation pane on the left hand side. So any pages you create will appear here, so you don't have to add these in manually, you don't have to change this, it's automatically created. And again, you can change the pages of how far down you want them down the list. So if I wanted that at the top, I can just move that up to the top there. You can add pages within sub pages. So again, add as many as you want, change as many as you want. But any changes you do make, what you need to do is make sure you always publish your site once all the changes are done, and that makes it live, and that's more or less accessible to anyone and everyone you want people to see. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe for more videos. If there's anything on Google sites you're not too sure about and you want me to try and test out, I'll be more than happy to test out for you. If you've got a comment about anything that I've covered here and want some more answers to particular parts of Google site, drop it in the comments section and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for joining me in this video. Hope to see you in the next one.